Welcome back to the Traders Network. I'm Michael Yorba here, broadcasting to you live from the Dallas KFXR 1190 AM Clear Channel Studios, streaming to you on the iHeart app and yorbamedia.com if you are outside the borders of the United States, whether it's Uruguay, Shanghai, London, or Geneva. All right, I have got the CEO of Chanticleer Holdings, Michael Pruitt, on this show with us right now, and we are going to walk through some of the great breakthrough things that he's been doing lately and get a little peek into the future of what this company's coming up with. All right, Michael, welcome back to the show. Welcome to the show. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it.
Michael, thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, my pleasure. Symbol on your stock so everybody can bring it up on their trading platforms.
It's HOTR, Chanticleer Holdings, HOTR.
All right. Now, you are making big moves in your industry sector. Let me back up a bit, give you a chance to introduce yourself to our audience. Tell us really a little bit about yourself, but let's dive into what HOTR, Chanticleer Holdings, does.
Chanticleer Holdings is a holding company. Originally, we started as a business development company, which is an investment company. And one of our early investments was in the Hooters restaurant chain. And because of that, and through that investment, the founder, Bob Brooks, gave us, as part of that investment, that in the event something ever happened to him and the family, if they decided to sell, we had the first right to buy it. And unfortunately, after we made that investment, he passed away, and the family decided to sell Hooters. And a little over 3 years ago, I put together a group, Chanticleer did, to acquire the Hooters restaurant chain. And so with that, Chanticleer converted to an operating business. We did a secondary offering to raise some capital to expand the Hooters brand in some key international markets. And that is a reflection of our stock symbol, HOTR, to reflect our Hooters business model.
Talk to me about some of these markets you've moved into.
Well, initially, our first market we moved into was South Africa, where today we have 5 stores, and we recently announced we've acquired land to build our 6th store in Port Elizabeth, which will open here this year. And from there, we went to Europe, where we opened in Budapest and partnered with a very successful guy there named Alex Hemingway, who was President Chief Operating Officer for a Yum franchisee, which is a Pizza Hut, Taco Bell's, and Kentucky Fried Chickens for 3 countries in Eastern Europe. And we opened our first location there in Budapest. And hopefully we're looking forward to opening a location in the not-too-distant future there in Poland. And then we also expanded with rights into Brazil. And we've announced that we just signed our first lease to open our first location in Rio, which we anticipate opening that this year as well. And then we actually partnered with our current franchisee for Hooters in Australia, and opened a location in the suburb of Sydney called Campbellstown, where we just recently upsized our investment to 60% of that. And we've already announced that we have 2 new locations under construction in Australia, Townsville and Surfers Paradise, where we will also own 60% of.
Okay, you're hitting all the high points. South Africa.
Actually, and I forgot one. Michael, I forgot. We bought the store last year in Nottingham, England, in the UK, and with that, we have some development rights in the UK, additional development rights.
Obviously, you see great market share to develop in these areas. I mean, let me recap that: South Africa, Budapest, Brazil, Sydney. And was it Townsville and then
Townsville and Surfers Paradise in Australia,
and then England,
and then Rio, which we have a lease, and we're getting ready to commence construction.
So you must have done a lot of homework here to see that that is going to be growing population bases that are going to fit your demographics. I take it.
Yes, we did a lot of research, both on our own as well as with the help of Hooters, where I also sit on the board as a part owner, and we think these are markets that have tremendous growth opportunity. In fact, we've said publicly that we think we could easily open 75 locations in these markets, and on a conservative basis.
If I may, I'd like to drill down a little bit into your thought process here. Going into these markets, is there also a consideration of westernized, or meaning Americanized, investment from other industry sectors and population growth of English-speaking businessmen moving into these markets, or is it something that's just focused on those markets and the natives in there?
No, not necessarily the English-speaking part, but part of our due diligence process certainly is looking if there's been any other American concepts prior to us that have had success there, whether it be McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Domino's Pizza, just to name a few. And so if their economy or their, in that country has been receptive to American concepts, that's certainly one component of the due diligence that we do. But it's not necessary that they really speak English in Budapest and then Brazil. I assure you, having gone there doing research and now going to store openings, English, although they do speak it, is certainly not their primary language, nor is Hungarian or Brazilian to me. So, but being receptive to American concepts, and Hooters is Americana. I always tell people when I first went to South Africa 5 years ago to do due diligence before opening there, I was almost shocked that I didn't have to explain to one person what Hooters was. They had heard about it, seen it in movies. If they came to the U.S., it was one of those places they wanted to go see and visit. And so it was very impressive that the brand recognition Hooters had internationally.
Yes, I can see that you've hit the nail right on the head. Tremendous success. We didn't get a chance to go into your background because you're steering the ship, and people are investing in you with money that they want to look back and make sure it's going to be there. I have all assurances in the feeling that I get from you, from what you just said to me, that you picked the right place to give shareholder value. But give us a feeling for you, your background, your success story, because you got a pretty good track record, and I'd like to give you a moment to bring that out to our audience.
Well, I'm an investor at heart, so I was fortunate in building businesses to have the ability to acquire some net worth, and then associate myself over the last 14 years with other people who think like me, which is more of a Buffett-like mindset, Warren Buffett mindset of value investing. Look for great opportunities run by great people that you can like, trust, and admire, and have the ability to allocate capital to them where you can get above average rate of return. And I feel very fortunate because our original investment in Hooters in 2006, which led to us buying Hooters, has been an amazing investment for us and our limited partners at the time, and now the shareholders of Chanticleer. And then the opportunities that Hooters has allowed us to partner with great people that are great operators in each market that have taken an economic risk alongside of Chanticleer and its shareholders. And so that, to me, is a track record for success. And now we're taking that footprint that the iconic Hooters brand has led us into these countries, and we've acquired some other chains, which I'm sure we'll talk about shortly, that will also give us the foundation to take those chains into these international markets as well. And so, I've invested my own money into Chanticleer, a significant amount, as well as, friends and family and longtime supporters of ours who believe in what we've done and what we can do going forward. And we look forward and get up every day, striving to execute to make that happen.
Well, I agree, but what I was trying to drive to is that's the success story here that I'm talking about with this trucking firm that you worked with. You moved revenues from $6 million to $30 million, from 97 to 2000, and then you've been on several other public and private companies and capital raising, recruiting, and management. Those skills, that skill set to actually move the needle from $6 to $30 million is what's impressive to me. Do you, without getting too deep into this, that's a pretty big move from $6 to $30 million on a trucking company based on the way that what's going on in your wheelhouse. Are you thinking that this is that kind of growth potential in the markets you just entered into?
Absolutely. I mean, last year, Chanticleer did $9 million in revenue, $3.3 million of that in the fourth quarter. In the first quarter of this year, we did $5.5 million in revenue. And we're on a path with some things that we've already announced in terms of a seventh location, the ones we got under construction in Australia, to more than achieve those types of growth numbers in Chanticleer in our current business today. And I think we've also proven that we're pretty good at, when we see the right opportunity to acquire, we've been able to put together a structure, whether it's raising capital or buying businesses using the currency of Chanticleer and our stock HOTR when it's accretive, to make those acquisitions, as we did, as I mentioned, with the Hooters in the UK. In November, the American Roadside Burger chain just prior to that. And then in February, we closed the acquisition of 2 Hooters in the U.S., which we haven't discussed, up in Portland, Oregon, and Spokane, Washington. And then Spoon, the bar and kitchen right there in Dallas, which is an iconic restaurant.
Let's do this. Let's take a break now, cover Spoon and 2013, 2014, 2013 milestones, 2014 outlook on the other side. Does that sound good, Michael?
Perfect.
All right, thank you. We'll be right back with Michael Pruitt, CEO, Chanticleer Holdings. Symbol on this one is HOTR. Chanticleerholdings.com is the website. And special thanks to Monk Media and 1-800-PublicRelations.com for all their PR and media support. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Traders Network. I'm Michael Yorba, your host. Thanks for joining us. Broadcasting to you live from the Dallas KFXR 1190 AM Clear Channel Studios. Streaming to you on iHeart Radio, and if you're outside the borders of the United States, on yorbamedia.com. All right, I'm joined on the show this morning with Michael Pruitt, CEO, Chanticleer Holdings. We'd walk through the expansion of your company, HOTR is a symbol, ladies and gentlemen, and chanticleerholdings.com. But, Michael, let's talk about the new acquisition that you made that affects us here at Ground Zero, this restaurant, Spoons. Is that what I'm getting?
Yep, Spoon Bar and Kitchen.
Please, bring that up.
Highland Park. So Spoon is it just got voted by Texas Monthly is the top restaurant in the state of Texas. The chef there, John Tizar, I found out, even how popular it was, even more so after we announced the purchase of it. John is an amazing chef. He's, got an amazing background. Spoon has done incredibly well there in Dallas. And we actually said when we bought the company, we announced that we also are backing John in a new fast casual version of Spoon in the seafood sector in the Dallas market. We think Dallas is a tremendous market for our concepts, whether it be Just Fresh, our burger concept, and with the success and notoriety of John and Spoon in the Dallas market, we look forward to expanding all of our concepts there.
Okay. You are looking to keep that location, or are you looking to, yes, keep the location, but I meant, what I should have said is, are you looking to expand anything on that basis? More locations for Spoon?
Not so much for Spoon, the white tablecloth version, the seafood concept that it is today, but taking Spoon and John's success and coming up with a casual version of that seafood concept under a different name in the Dallas market that we could also look, based on the success we believe it will have, to expand it throughout not only the U.S. but also internationally.
Innovation and improvement on a proven product.
With a proven chef. And John, again, is just one of the best.
Good. I'm going to make it a point to go over there and say hi and shake his hands and see if I can do something for you guys on my end. I'll definitely get the word out for you here. I'm really impressed with you. Could we please go into the 2013 milestones, and then obviously I want to see what your outlook is for 2014.
Well, in 2013, especially the back half of 2013, was really fundamental in its change and the growth of the company. We were successful in acquiring the American Roadside Burger chain, which was originally started in Long Island, then moved to Charlotte, where they opened 4 additional locations in the Carolinas. So when we purchased it, it had 5 locations. We were able to attract an all-star operator in Rich Adams, who was at the time working for Bojangles, which is a very successful chicken concept here in the Southeast, where he ran over 100 company stores to come in and run American Roadside. And so that was one of our milestones. Another on the Hooters side is we bought the Nottingham, England location for Hooters, where we closed in November. That location's the number 15. Last year was number 15 in the world out of 412 locations in terms of sales. And we think the UK presents, a significant opportunity for growth. And then towards the end of the year, very close to the end of the year, we acquired a controlling stake in a concept called Just Fresh, which is headquartered here in Charlotte, where they have 6 locations. And then we opened in South Africa, in the capital of Pretoria, our 5th location in South Africa. So it was a great year in 2013, especially most of that coming in the second half of the year, which just carried that momentum into 2014. And so, and in 2014, the first quarter, we had a couple other significant milestones, and that was we acquired the 2 restaurants for Hooters up in the Pacific Northwest, which is right outside of Portland and Jantzen Beach, and in Tacoma, Washington. And with that, we'll look to open more restaurants. And then on February 1st, we acquired Spoon Bar and Kitchen there in Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Good, great accomplishments. I can see that you've done all your homework, and it's going to be just nothing but upside for you, blue skies, as they say. What about 2014? And looking forward, what do you think your prospects are for you, your company, your shareholders, and your customers?
Well, we think the prospects are great. Chanticleer has already announced that we have 2 stores in Australia under construction. Again, Townsville and Surfers Paradise. Right. We've announced Rio. We've announced the acquisition of the land in South Africa for the 6th location there, and then we've announced that we also Rio, which obviously with the World Cup coming, and then right beyond it the Olympics. We see Brazil is a great frontier for the Hooters brand as we go forward and grow, and so that's plenty of for us for here this early part of 2014, and then we're very opportunistic. If you would ask me last year this time, would we have acquired American Roadside or the locations in the Pacific Northwest or Spoon? I didn't have any idea at this time last year. So we're always looking for opportunities that we can add value for our shareholders.
Now, let me steer this a little bit and drill right into your level of expertise for forging ahead into new markets. How do you see Latin America as a potential growth prospect, not just in Brazil, but the entire continent? Do you see that there are more opportunities outside of that country, or is it really focused just in Brazil and primarily really the money's going to be in Rio?
No, I think, well, first of all, it's more than Rio. We actually signed our franchise agreement for 5 states in Rio and around Rio. So we do think the country and outside of Rio as well has equal opportunity for success. We're opportunistic looking at all areas. I mean, there's no doubt that there's been some great success stories. The first time in the history of McDonald's let one of their franchisees go public, which happens to be their franchisee for South America, Latin America, and the Caribbean, who is the biggest franchisee for McDonald's. So there is plenty of opportunity in countries outside of Brazil. We just have to find the right partner to take us into those countries, which is our business model, which is we identify the opportunities, but then the second and equally important component is to find the right operating partner who's willing to share risks to go into there, that has the credibility to allow us to then the third component, which is to allocate capital to those areas.
All right. Now these partners come in with what are the earmarks that this is going to work? Coming from an expert in relationship building and building shareholder value and growth for your company, what does a good partner look like?
Proven track record. In the case of, like I say, in Europe, Alex Hemingway was president and chief operating officer of 120 KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bells. Yeah. To me, that's a track record that I can do research and background checks and look at past performance to give me some comfort as to what the future performance would look like. So that's what we look for in partners: proven success, proven track record, that, and for lack of a better term, are bankable, because in this case we are the capital allocator and the bank, and we have to give our shareholders to entrust our capital to them to take advantage of the opportunities that we have in front of us.
And your management team, is there anything you wanted to bring out? Because you're driving the ship, you're providing guidance to the rest of your team as we move forward, but the rest of your team that supports you in driving shareholder value for the general public, is there any highlights you want to bring out about your team before we close out on our segment?
Well, obviously we have a great financial staff led by our CFO, Eric Letter. We have in-house attorneys and HR. But we did add two key components to that in the last 4 months. One, April Miller, who we hired from Hooters, who ran their corporate training department and trained our franchisees how to take the Hooters brand to their country. She joined our staff, and actually today is in South Africa, where she's doing some training. And then we did hire, January 1st, a great hire, a guy named Mark Allison, who was the head of the culinary school at Johnson & Wales at the Charlotte campus. He joined us to head up our culinary. And he's actually in Tacoma, Washington, right as we speak, at the Hooters there, working with the kitchen staff on how to make the presentation better and do things better. So we constantly, from the parent company, are asking our partners what resources they'd like to see from us to make their business better. And if we see those opportunities so we can pick up the right people, that's what we've done. And that's an investment on our part to make sure that we're the best at what we do. Yes.
You do nothing but instill confidence in me. All right, we're near the end of our segment, and we've got about a minute left. Are there any call to action, any things that our audience can do with you to take this conversation we've just really scratched the surface with on our show and expand it to your team and get more information for themselves?
Well, certainly I encourage your listeners, Michael, to go to our website, chanticleerholdings.com, where we've spent a great deal of time and energy to make sure we keep it updated, keep it relevant, to provide information to people who show an interest and want to learn more about Chanticleer. Also sign up for our investor relations section there, where you can get email alerts on any activities that happen with Chanticleer. And so that's what I encourage your listeners to do, and do their due diligence, and I hope after they do that due diligence, they'll participate and choose to look at Chanticleer, our stock, HOTR.
Michael, it's been a pleasure with this conversation with you. Thank you for showing up.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Michael Pruitt, CEO, Chanticleer Holdings, chanticleerholdings.com. HOTR is the symbol. And special thanks to Monk Media and 1-800-publicrelations.com for all their PR and media support. We'll be right back on the other side of this break with one more. Tom Brophy, CEO, CUR Media. We're going to get into the music business. We'll be right back.